Okay, so this is just a project and it has all these records and data already in here. You can see there's 201 records. So this this group sort of midstream here has decided that they would prefer to have customized record IDs rather than auto-numbered. So I just wanted to go through a little discussion about the value of auto-numbering versus custom numbering of record IDs, and sort of workarounds about how you can handle the same thing only in a little different way. So the one way of changing all these record IDs would be to export data and make changes and clear data out of this project and then re-import. It's very laborious and very scary when you start trying to change record IDs to something else. One way of changing record IDs, just so you know, since I'm here, if you click on a record ID, excuse me, is you can rename a record and then just go and rename the record to some other number than one. And that's a way of custom numbering after you've already added the record. So that option exists, but in this case, there's 201 records. So one way or another, you're going to be dealing with some data entry labor by adding a new number or changing a number or whatever. But I like to recommend people that want to do custom numbering for their record ID that instead of that, they add a field on their first instrument or somewhere and add that custom number in the field and then just carry it there rather than have it on the record ID. So there's a couple of advantages to that. One is that you can add the custom field to append it to the record ID so that it shows up. And we've demonstrated this before, where you have a record ID and then it shows the name of the participant here after the record ID. Well, you can do the same thing with that custom number and have it show up here. But the issue for this group was they really wanted to sort by that custom number, which is why they wanted to change the record ID. But in fact, this is where you get to our dashboard. And for those of you who have not created a custom dashboard before, this is a really handy feature. So when you create a custom dashboard, you can call it something, you can add the fields, the logic that you want and set this all up. But then you have an option to sort. So you can sort by any of these fields in your custom dashboard. So if you've created a unique identifier for your participant, it's very easy for you to create a custom dashboard and name it and sort by that custom number, and then everything is in order, and you don't have to worry about trying to remember your numbering scheme or make sure that you're not giving a custom number out twice. You can set it so that you don't give the same number out twice. And for those of you that don't know how to do that, that's a fairly simple thing in your project setup. you just go to your additional customizations here, and you designate a secondary unique field. And so once you designate a secondary unique field and you click on that, you can select from any of these, and it will prevent you from entering the same number twice. So that would be just something that would prevent you from making a mistake in your data entry process by adding these custom numbers. If it was the record ID, it would automatically prevent you from entering the same number twice because the record ID must be unique. But you can achieve the same thing by setting that secondary unique number so that you don't enter the same ID or that second custom number twice. Anyway, I like keeping the auto number feature depending on how people set up that secondary field. Sometimes they like to maybe put a date of birth and initials, something like that is culled from PHI. You do not want that as a record ID, because when you do an export, if you carry that record ID out, you then will expose that PHI just because all your other fields are de-identified. You've left yourself exposed by creating a record ID that carries PHI. So the auto numbering is really great because it allows you to automatically de-identify your records on an export when necessary and carry that record ID out into the export. You can always delete the column if you need it deleted, but to go through and try and change record IDs, also if you have that, just like when you have the name field here, it's just nice to be able to click on the record ID here and go to that record and make any edits that you want to. So anyway, I recommend that when you're looking at custom record numbers, there are many cases where that's the way to go because that's the way you want your project structured. And I don't want to influence you necessarily, but I do want to advocate for the value of the auto numbering option and then creating a secondary field. One of the examples is we had a project some years ago where somebody wanted to make the record ID the MRN. That definitely does not work because you've certainly opened yourself up to a HIPAA violation by displaying someone's MRN when you export a record. So anyway, just add the MRN field somewhere in the instrument and then use it for sorting and you'll be good to go.